Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we are going to do an unboxing of Uno Elite. So I've done some other different Uno games before. A big one is the Ultimate Uno, which is the Marvel and then eventually DC themed sets, which have a little bit of twist because each character has a different set of decks and different cards. It's played like Uno in the base concept, but a little bit different. So here's a football version of the game, but it's not the same as Ultimate Uno. It has a different thing. So draft NFL players in the classic Uno game. So what you do is you buy a big box here. Has 112 classic Uno cards plus 56 randomized NFL player cards. And this is the starter pack. It's the 2024 core edition, so it's possible they're going to keep doing it later on. It does have the NFL logo up there, so it's, official. And then you can pick up draft packs, which have another 56, notice the same number as in the core set, just without the classic stuff in there. But also both of them will have 4 collectible Uno cards included. So yeah, what is this exactly? So I picked this up because I always like different style Uno games. Plus I like collectibles. And it's always fun to show this off in case someone sees this sitting in the store and they're wondering what this is. So, Downset Deal. This hard-hitting game combines the challenge of classic Uno and the excitement of the NFL football. Player drafts into your team and watch your actions take traditional game to the next level. So, it says create your lineup. Each player has their own action. Play Uno. So, playing Uno, if you're not familiar, you have cards in your hand and the goal is to empty your hand. So, you do that either by matching color, blue to blue, to whatever's in the pile, or number to number, which could keep the same color or change it. Next is activate your player. Play a card with an elite icon to get them into the game. So you play a special card. I'm assuming it's the big star one. Lets you play a card which will have special abilities. So expand your roster to draft pack. Collect over 190 collectible players. Cool. So it consists of 172 cards plus 1 rule sheet. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this and see exactly what's all in here. I did pick up, we have 3 booster packs, so I'm hoping to get most of the 190, but then we'll also get an idea of we'll see how much different and rarities and stuff like that are in there. This is also a colorblind friendly, accessible game. Alright, so we have the foil packs. Just seal product not for this. These are the 4 foils. So these are just if you want extra foil. The Marvel one did a very similar thing with that. We have our rule book. We'll look at that in a sec. And then we drop all these out. We have 3 stacks of cards. It says, remove card for storage. Oh, so that's going to be cool. So maybe we'll be able to store a bunch of our stuff in this. If I actually take these out, and if we push these back down, looks like we have 4 different dividers in there. So that's kind of neat. So if you only have the base one, you could leave just the base game. You could leave them in there, or you could take them out. Have some extra little divider spots in there. So that's pretty cool. So we'll definitely see how that works for the full set there. It looks like we have 3 different decks of cards. But let's take a look at the rules first. See what we all have in here. Objective, be the first to get all the cards in your hand. In a nutshell, there are 2 types of cards in Uno Elite. Uno cards and NFL player cards. You play just like classic Uno, matching color, number, and symbol, but most of the traditional actions you take, like skip, reverse, and more, are found on the NFL player cards. How do you do that, you ask? Well, whenever you play a card with an elite icon, you may act up a power of an NFL player card from your lineup. And like always, when you're down to your last card, you still gotta yell Uno. Interesting. Alright, so that's how this works. Separate the 112 Uno cards from the 56 NFL player cards. Shuffle each deck separately. Choose a dealer to deal 7 Uno cards. Place the remaining cards face down. This is the draw pile. Flip over the top card of the draw pile. Place it face up to form the discard pile. If this card is an action card, ignore it and flip over the next card. Deal 8 NFL player cards face down to each player. This will be their individual player deck. Set the remaining cards aside, they won't be used. Okay, so very interesting. So we get 8 cards each, and it starts with 56. So you're going to be able to play with a lot of players initially. And that's just kind of fun, because if they would have been oh, here's, 24 cards. Then you can only play technically a 4-player game without buying more cards, which they could have definitely done. Like, hey, here's to start you off. You all play with more than 4 people, go pick up more cards. Yes, that's pretty cool. Each player shuffles their individual player deck and then flips over the top 3 cards of their deck, setting the cards in front of them for face their lineup. Leave space nearby for a face-up discard pile. Note, each player card has a color: red, blue, green, and yellow associated with it. So basically, okay, so we have the player deck, discard pile, and have 3 cards face up, ready to go. So everyone looks like everyone will be able to see what you have ready. On your turn, you try to get rid of all your cards by playing 1 card into the face down into the discard pile. If you have a matching card in your hand, you may play it on the discard. You can only play a card if it matches at least 1 attribute on the card's discard pile. Its color, number, or symbol. If the card you play is an action card or has the elite icon, it does something special. No elite icons do not count as matching symbols. If you do not have a matching card, draw one from the draw pile. If your new card can be played, then you must play it. You may choose to draw a card instead of playing one, even if you have a playable card in your hand. And sometimes the reason why people might do that is because maybe the only card you have is a wild, and maybe you don't want to use your wild at that particular turn. Or as a bluffing mechanic, it's red and you have 2 red cards in your hand. Or you have a red and a yellow, but maybe you want to wait because, there's reasons. If there are no cards left in the draw pile, reshuffle it, permanently draw. Once you've played or drawn a card, it continues the next player. So the one big difference here versus some typical Uno rules is this one is you draw a card. If a new card is played, you play it. Otherwise, you're done. You only draw 1 card no matter what. There are versions of the game where you keep drawing until you play a card. But I think standard rules is you just draw 1 card. The moment you only have 1 card in your hand, you must yell Uno and alert the other players. However, if someone catches you and calls out Uno before you do, and before the next player begins their turn, you must draw 2 cards. The elite icon, which is a star. Some Uno cards have the elite icon on them. If you play one of these cards, well, it's going to activate the power of one of your cards in your lineup. Alright, so how does that work? That's where we're interested. You may activate a player card anytime you play an Uno card with elite icon to the discard pile. You may only activate a player card if it matches the color of the card you played. For example, if you play a red 3 with an elite, you may activate a red card from your lineup. If none of the player cards in your lineup are red, you don't have an eligible play card. Oh, okay, so that's kind of cool then. So you can only do it, so you have to get timing even better then. If you do have an eligible player card, use its power, then place it face up in the discard pile next to your player deck. When you're done, draw 1 card from the top of your play deck, add it to your lineup, bringing you back up to 3. If your player deck runs out, do not shuffle the discard piles. Use your recover action card, see action cards, to get player cards back into your player deck to keep your lineup from running out. You may choose not to activate a card if you don't want to. Winning player plays their final Uno card from their hand, they win the game. So our action cards, we have 3 main ones. We have Elite Wild. This card can be played on any card. Choose the color and continues play. If any of the cards in your lineup match the color you choose, you may activate the player card. Wild Recover. This card can be played on any card. It takes up to 3 play cards from your choice from your player discard. Put them under your player deck in any order. This also is a wild card. Choose the color that continues. And Recover. Take any one of your player cards from your discard pile. Okay, interesting. So that's kind of a neat idea, is that your player cards will always be active. So it's basically saying, the normal deck in your hand, you're only going to have numbers and pretty much numbers in there. You won't have your reverses, your draw twos, your skips and stuff like that. They're going to be on the player cards, which will always be up, so everyone will at least have a potential knowledge of knowing what they might get hit with. So that's pretty different. Icon types. From performing actions on the player cards, some will apply to either a standard Uno card or a player card. These actions will tell you which. So a standard Uno card will have the big O-ring. A player card will have like 2 divisions. Skip, the next player, In current order, skips your next turn. Reverse the direction of play. If it's moving clockwise, now moves counterclockwise. Draw the number of Uno cards indicated by the number on the draw pile. Peek, look at another player's hand. That's definitely a new one. Play again, you can immediately take another turn. Interesting. So like a full step, turn step. Discard. The player in the current order must discard one Uno or player card depending on the icon to the appropriate discard pile. Interesting. Recover. Take one Uno card or player card depending on the icon from its respective discard pile and return it to your hand. If it's an Uno card, or to the bottom of your player deck if it's a player card. Swap, take a card random from another player's hand, give them a card of your choice from your hand. Target, if you see this icon, you get to choose which other player must do the action. For example, if you see a target with a skip icon, and skip and the target icon, you decide which player will be skipped. Oh, that's neat. So you get, like, especially if you have more than 4 players. Everyone, you see this icon, every other player must do the action. For example, if you see a skip icon after this action, all other players will be skipped. Neat. Alright, so it'd be kind of cool to see them. Other ways to play. Once you've enjoyed a few games of Elite, try some draft mode or dynasty mode to inject some strategy in how you build your player deck. Draft mode. Play the same as quick play mode, except here players take turn drafting a couple cards to build their player decks. Shuffle the 56 cards and flip over the number of cards equal to the number of players plus 2. So play with 4 players, flip over 6 cards. The youngest player gets to draft first, so they choose 1 player card, and then clockwise order the rest of the players to draft 1 card. Continue until every player has drafted 1 card. There should be 2 remaining. Turn the undrafted card to the bottom of the pile, then flip over the same amount. For the more drafting, only this time the player that chose last chooses first, and the drafting goes in reverse order. Continue this process until each player has drafted 8 cards. Each player shuffles the cards they drafted from the deck and begins the game. Okay, so that's kind of neat. So either you can do quick play where you just shuffle the number of cards. You get 6, you get 6, you get 6. 8 cards. Or you can have each person kind of like play a little drafting around. Maybe you pick a card that has abilities you like, or maybe you're going to pick your favorite players. So your play deck must have 8 player cards. You cannot have more than 1 card of any player by name. You must have at least 1 card of each color. Okay, so that's an interesting thing there. So if you just randomly do it, you might end up with the same person twice, depending on what randomly are in there. You might have a bunch of the same colors. You cannot have more than 2 wild cards or any 2 dual colored cards. You cannot have more than 4 instances of any single action. The player has more than 1 icon. Each icon counts as the above, and icon modifiers do not make them unique. Interesting. So yeah, you have to kind of make everything even. Someone can't just, I'm going to draw only skips. Oh, I'm sorry. We skipped over Dynasty Mode. To play Dynasty Mode, each player must have their own set of NFL player cards from their Uno Elite starter pack or a draft pack. Before the game begins, each player builds their own deck. Okay, so that's what the difference is. So draft, you might end up with duplicate cards or whatever because it's what's available. But you can do Dynasty Mode where each player builds their own deck ahead of time. So that's pretty fun as well. Alright, and then special foils. You'll notice there are 4 extra foil player cards included. These are random, and a different set of cards included in each pack of Uno Elite. You may keep them separate as collectibles or use them in a game to spice up your player deck. There are 3 types of foils. Base colored foil. A base foil is the same as a regular player card, except the foil. There's 1 base foil for all 4 Uno colors for each player in the Elite universe. So yeah, the 190 cards, and you get 4 per pack. Takes you forever to collect all them. Dual colored foil has 2 colors on it, blue, green, or red, yellow. Dual foils can be activated by playing an Elite card of either color. Example, blue, green can be activated by playing either blue or green card. And then wild foil counts as all 4 colors and will be activated against any card showing Elite. For colorblind players, special graphic symbols have been added to each card to help identify its colors. Reds are circles, yellows are stars, blues are squares, and triangles are green. Neat. And then a little thing on the back to help keep track of that. Okay, cool. So that is what we have. So let's go ahead and hop into looking at the actual cards themselves. We're going to drop our camera down a bit. One thing to note, Uno cards are of a different size than standard playing cards. If you ever want to sleeve all of these, for whatever reason, especially because there's a lot of shuffling and stuff, and when you're buying, if you're just buying like the starter deck, I'd say whatever, you could probably go buy them again, but as a collectible game, you may want to sleeve your cards. That's always your choice. Alright, so in green here, we have a 1 with an elite, a regular 1, a 2 with an elite, a regular 2, regular 3, regular 3. I'm going to flip these over so that they're right side up. Elite 4, regular 4, elite 5, regular 5. So it's interesting. So 1 and 2 both had elites, 3 didn't, 4 and 5 did, and now 6 just has regulars. 7 has an elite and a regular, 8 has elite and a regular, 9 has each. So 3 and 6 don't have elites for whatever reason in green. And then we have 1, 2, 3 copies of the I already forgot what this is called, just recover action. I think that's what that was. Yep, a recover for 1 card. And then we have a 0. So that was green. So now I wonder, are all the colors going to be the exact same? They should, theoretically. So elite, regular, no elites. Elite and regular for blue. Elite and regular for that. None and 6s. 7s has them. 8s has the elites. 9 has the elites. And then we should have 3 of those and a 0. All of them should be even. That was one thing that was a little bit different. The Marvel one, the Ultimate game, is they had different sets for each color. Sometimes they flopped around between different colors. Alright, so we have red. And it's neat though, is what you can do is you can just, I got this upside down again. You can just play a regular game of Uno with these if you don't want to add these football players in. And that's a neat thing that's kind of about this, is like, hey, we just want to play a quick game of Uno. You can definitely just pull these cards out and play. And ignore all the other stuff. The only thing is you're not going to then have your, you won't have your draws and all that stuff. So that's the only reason why you wouldn't be able to necessarily use these. So there's yellow, same thing. So all the exact same stuff. So no elites in 3 and 6 for some reason. But at least shows that you're going to get the elite cards quite a bit. So it's not like they're going to be popping up like, oh, every 4 or 5 rounds or something. So it's going to happen fairly often. The 3 recoveries and the 0. So then we have our wild cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wild elite cards. So we're going to get that activated pretty often. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 more of them. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 wild cards. With the elite symbol and 6 with recover 3. I know with each of the colors, so that means you have 10 total recovery cards as well. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. Two very standard cards there. Alright, then let's look at our football players. Now again, I'm not a huge football fan. I grew up watching football with my family, but I don't actively follow it. So like, I'm probably not going to know who a lot of these people are. I'm probably going to mess up names, so apologies ahead of time. But let's see what we have in our first booster pack. So there's the backs of the cards, just in case anyone wants to see. So there's your standard one. your regular deck of cards, and there's the players. Just that way you can separate them easily enough. So let's see if I can zoom this up a little bit more since we have more information on here. We have Kashan Boodle from the Patriots. So it does have card numbers on here. So he's number 24. So it's card number 24, not him being number 24. From the core set, it's going to have the blue for people on blue, but it's going to have a little square up there in the top corner for whoever's there. Just kind of looking through all this is shuffled. So it's all mixed together. So there's nothing in there that has, like, it's not going to get in a certain thing. There are no rarities in here that I see, so it's not like one's necessarily more rare than the other, that I can tell. But this will give us two options. So we're going to get a peek plus a discard. One card. So that's kind of cool. You peek at someone's hand and then discard. So now if it's just one of these abilities, that'd be interesting. But the fact is we have some of these that are going to talk with each one. We have Deshaun Watson from the Browns. So target a person to discard 3 cards. Discard 3 player cards. So that's, again, the distinction on the 2 types of cards. Whether it's an Uno card or a discard card. So this one does say peek at someone's hand, but you have to discard one of their player cards. But that can help them. Like, oh, I know he has an elite red card in his hand. You can discard your player that's red. It's forcing them to discard all 3 of their cards. They won't have any players until they get some refresh cards, recovers. Jonathan Taylor, draw 2 Uno cards and peek. Laramie Tunsil, just draw 1 Uno card. And the question there would be like, why would you ever want to draw an Uno card, right? Isn't the point of getting rid of cards? There can definitely be advantages to that, right? Because maybe it'll help you, draw cards. You have something to play off something later. You might get to play one of these quicker. There's always reasons for that stuff. Brian Robinson Jr., who has a reverse. Marlon Humphrey has a skip. Amon-Ra St. Brown. All players draw 1 card. So that's the only thing. Everyone has, is it, I thought it just say everybody else, or is it everybody including? I think it's just everybody else. Every other player must do it. Yeah, so it makes everyone else draw a card. That's kind of fun. Trent Williams is draw a card. Uno cards indicated from the draw pile. Yeah, so just making you draw cards. Okay. I'm just double checking that rule again. Puka Nakua? Is this the Rams? Is this a new logo? I might not have seen that before. Sam Laporta from the Lions, who has double stip. Oh, that's fun. See, some little combinations like that I think would make the game, or make it very interesting. And then doing that draft rule, I think would make it also fun. The draft or the dynasty, just randomly giving people cards, great way to maybe do it for the first time, learning how to play. So you can kind of see what you're getting, but I think the draft rule is only kind of strategize. Ahmed Sauce Gardner, so discarded target player card. Jarrett, how do you even say that? Stidham. So every player draws 2 cards. Kendrick Bourne, double skip. Jacoby Myers, +1 draw. So far I haven't had any duplicates. I don't know how often those are going to come up or not. Buda Baker. So we have each player gets to, swap a card. Trevor Lawrence. Everyone draws 1 and then you get to play again. It's mean. Luke Musgraves for the Packers here. We have skip. Terry McBride, reverse order. Tutu Atwell, skip. Tommy DeVito, draw a card, then everyone discards a player card. David Andrews, Alex Singleton, Darius Slayton, David Montgomery, George Kittle, Justin Herbert, draw 2, and then recover. Is that recovery? Yeah, recover 2 player cards. Just I like that. It's just kind of like a handicap, but you get everything. But you get target players to draw 2 cards. So it definitely seems like some of these are more powerful than other cards. Like right here, just example here. Quay Walker. So he gets to make you have to draw a card. Versus here, you force 2 players to draw a card, and you get 2 player cards back. So yeah, Kyler Murray, draw 2 cards, and then target player draws 2 cards, and then you get to play again. AJ Brown, yeah. So objectively here, not even objectively, 100%. There's no reason why Kyler Murray isn't better than AJ Brown. They both have the target player draws 2 cards. But this one lets you play another card right away. DeForest Buckner, Nelson Aguilar, Fred Warner, Mark Andrews, Christian Watson, Chris Lindstrom, Aziz Ojolari, Kevin Kamara, Matthew Stafford. Oh, look at that. Discard 2 player cards and then recover 3 more. So it lets you kind of refresh your player cards. Christian Rosenboom, Darius Slay, Jalen Carter, Tyson Bagent, Justin Tucker, Drake London, Baker Mayfield. Target player skips a turn. That's cool. We haven't seen that one before. Cameron Dicker, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cooper Kupp, Jared Jeff, or Goff maybe, Adam Thielen, Tyrann Mathieu, Montez Sweat, Jamar Chase, Sam Kozing. Oh, it's Washington's new logo. I don't think I've really seen that one either. Garrett Wilson, and finally Michael Parsons. So that's all our cards. I don't think we got any duplicates in there. Will be interesting to do is kind of maybe sort out the numbers and see if they're sorted by color, if they're sorted by team. I think I'm going to pause and do that. I'll do a quick pause and maybe check out before I open up the booster pack. What you want to do is open up the foil. So let's see what's in our foil pack quick. See if we got anything really cool in there. So I did buy 4 of the booster packs. I'm curious, like, how randomized they are, or if they're, like, kind of set. So, like, I buy each one. Am I going to end up getting the exact same ones or not? Alright, here's our foils. So, we have Derek Barnes. Big old shiny foil there. Harrison Smith from the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings. Minkah Fitzpatrick. So we did have him earlier. So it's a blue card, so you can probably find that fairly quickly. I say that and then now I'm not going to be able to find him. I thought we had him right towards the end. And maybe, oh. So this is interesting. So this is a, okay, so this is a foil, right? But that's blue. That's a square, that's blue. We had him as a green. So that's kind of interesting. Are the foils going to be different colors? So what was one of the other one? Here, I know we got Derek Barnes. We may have had a Derek Barnes in here too. But I'd have to go back through every card to double check that. That name does sound kind of familiar. I know the other, we did not have the Viking guy. Double check quick. Only 50 cards to go through. Now, because it says it's random, that does not mean that if you open up the starter deck, you're going to get the exact same cards. Especially the pack will be 100% different no matter what. No, we did not have that other guy, so I can't compare that. But you won't even get the same cards I did. So that last one, we got the double one. So this is kind of cool too. So that's going to be interesting though. That means there are going to be foil cards that are going to have these wild or alternate colors or extra things. So it actually makes the foils a little bit more collectible. Cool. So I'm gonna do a quick pause on the video. I'm gonna kind of sort these out and kind of see how they go by numbers, and then we will look into the booster packs. So see you guys in a moment. Alright, so I sorted all the cards out, and we found out, what we found out was this, is that they are sorted by last name. So like Andrews, you know, and I have these in exact correct order. So yeah, if I went, David Andrews comes before Mark Andrews. I just sorted them out by big 10s first, 10s, 20s, 30s. Yeah, so they're all sorted by last name. So that's how they're all sorted out, just if you're trying to figure out. The other thing I did find out is you go to Mattel Creations, their website, they do have a thing for a checklist if you want to keep track of everything. But what I found out, what I was interested in, was the foils. So again, each pack, including each one of these little packs or the big packs, these are $5 a piece. They're not terrible, but they have 4 foil cards in there. Every single player of the 190 cards in there, I think it is, have 4 different foil versions. So here we have Manika Fitzpatrick, which his regular one was green. This is a blue foil. He has a green foil, a yellow foil, and a red foil. So that means every single card has 4 base foil types. Then in the dual ones, which we had here for T. Higgins, each one has a set of duals. So they have a blue-green dual and a red-yellow dual. So that means every player has a total now 6 different foil cards. So also neat about these ones though is they give them, they have the same abilities, I believe. I don't have one to compare off the top of my head, but I believe they have the exact same abilities, but they just have the dual color so you can activate them more often. But they also have different picture on them. I was going to say artwork, but it's a picture. Then the third type was the wild. Every player has a wild version as well. So that's 4 regulars, 2 there, so that's 6, that's 7 foils for every single character. So there's 190 cards in the set, plus an additional 7 foils for everyone. And all 7 of them foils, there's only 4 per pack. So if you're going to try and hunt down and be 100% completionist on this, I wish you the best of luck on that. Good luck. But yeah, and then those even have a different artwork as well, or picture on there, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hop into this. I'm going to pull this out. One of the boxes. We're going to kind of fly through these to see what we have in here. So it just has a quick rule thing. A little sheet reminder. We get our pack of 4 cards, which we'll look at towards the end. Then we are going to hop in and see what we have. Now, I'm assuming I'm going to get some duplicates of the character cards that I already had. But we're going to see how sorted they all are. So we're going to have Breece Hall for the Jets. David Njoku, Dawson Knox, David Andrews. So yeah, we already had him. Are we going to have multiple colors of every guy in here as well? If they have 4 colors, so they have 4 colors for every single character? Oh boy, because this that actually kind of makes buying more and more of these more interesting. Is to just try and complete the regular set, not even counting the foils. I mean, if you have to buy enough to have 4 sets, you have 1 for each different color. That's pretty crazy. We have Patrick Mahomes, Tyrann Mathieu, Creed Humphrey, Michael Dickinson. So yeah, I believe we had him too. He's very, I have these sorted out. I can kind of check these a little bit quicker. No, maybe I didn't have him. Nope, I guess not. Interesting. Tyler Bass, Brock Purdy, Bradley Chubb, Cortland Sutton, Bryce Young, Nielsen Aguilar. So yeah, I think, do we have him right off the bat too? Yes, we have a red and a blue version of him. So you have to collect all 4 colors. Oh boy, that's cool and mean, because that also means then when you're doing the draft, oh, you get this, you get the random guys, whoever. But then it also means when you had the dynasty mode and you're creating your own deck ahead of time. That's why I was saying you can't have players of the same name, because I can't pick 4 of him and have +4 of that card. I thought it was just like, oh, because you have duplicates. It didn't want you to pick duplicates. That's nuts. Justin Herbert, Chuba Hubbard, Alex Singleton. So yes, we have another Amon St. Brown. I'm just looking at some of these top guys because they're right. I can find them quick. So he was in S's. Yeah, so that's a full-on duplicate I have of that one. Very, very interesting. I bought enough cards to have over 190. So I was like, oh, I want to make sure I try and get as close to having every card, and I'm not going to at this rate. Tyreek Hill, Jaren Hall, Lamar Jackson, Leighton Von Esch, Trevor Lawrence, Myles Garrett, Brandon Cooks, T. Higgins. So that was our other foil here. So that was our dual. So now I can either play them in just red, or I could play my foil version in green and blue. So that's kind of neat. Devontae Adams, Miles Sanders, Amari Cooper, Jared Goff, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Murray, Anthony Barr, Terry McLaurin, Dexter Lawrence too. So there's one thing I'm noticing. I'm not getting duplicates of the same players in this pack. Like I will from one pack to the next, but I haven't seen it again. But when there's 56 cards and you have 190 in the set, again, you buy 2 of them, that's 100. You buy 3 packs, right? It's 150, over 150, like 170 something total. So it's not even enough. So chances are they had a way to make sure you don't get the same characters in each. Or I keep calling them characters. Each player in each set. Matthew Judon, Jalen Carter, J.C. Horn, Chris Jones, Drake London, Joe Burrow, Chris Goodwin, Andrew Beck, Will Levis. I like that. Draw one and then target a different player. That's cool. Deebo Samuel, Cameron Hayward, Trevin Diggs, Deshaun Watson, Micah Parsons, Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Derek Brown, Tua Tagovailoa, Quentin Nelson. Oh, last 2 cards. We have an A.J. Dillon and a Ross Mantix. So yeah, that's going to be definitely interesting thing. So, although now it also means that every player is in 4 different colors, also means it's like here we have Ross Mantix in skip a turn for green. It's not like, oh, okay, there's only so many cards that have green, skip a turn. Nope, that means I can have them in any single color. What it also means is that it kind of makes it so you can create your own teams if you want. So you could actually, I'm just going to play the Jaguars, or I'm just going to play the Lions. you know, or mix and match. Like maybe you're like, I'm gonna play the North Central. I'm gonna play just Packers, you know, Packers, Bears, and Viking cards. You know, but you still have enough colors that you could play all of them and have a bunch of differences. So that's pretty neat. So we're going to just keep flying through these really quick. I'm going to open up the foils at the end. Just I'll open up all three at the same time. So again, I don't think I got any duplicate players in this pack. But even if you did, the chances are you're going to get the exact same color one. So I might get like one from one color, one from a different color. So the player will be the same, but I'd probably get two different colors. Alright, so pack number 2, we have CJ Mosley, Pukanaka, Young Ho Koo, Ahmed Sauce Gardner, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Roquan Smith, James Conner, Aquiz Ojulari, Kyler Murray, Jason Sanders, Chris Jones, Dalton Schultz, Jalen Waddle, Aiden Connell, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman Jr., Tommy DeVito, CJ Stroud, Kenneth Walker III, Jalen Riegor, DK Metcalf, JC Horn, Bradley Chubbs. I remember seeing him just in the last one. I don't think I saw him in this one. He was one of the last ones we got in the last one there. Yeah, just double checking that. Robert Spillane, Tyson Hill, Ryan Kelly, Cameron Jordan, Andrew Beck, Deebo Samuel, Myles Garrett, Christian McCaffrey, Micah Parsons, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Richard White. I've not seen that name before. Javonte Williams, Carlos Boogie Basham Jr., DeForest Buckner, Tyson Badnick, Cameron Hayward, Kyler Gordon, Sam Cosmi, Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, Tyreek Hill, Khalil Mack, Anthony Richardson, Patrick Surtain the second junior. I've ever seen 2. I've seen the 3rd. Khalil Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Barnes, Josh Allen, Terry McLaurin, Brock Purdy, and Nelson Aguilar. So we had him right away in our first pack. Our starter set, we had him in blue. One more pack to go. So the only reason I'm going through all these is, one, maybe you might see a player you didn't know. You want to just know who was all in there. Again, you could go to Mattel Creations, look at their checklist they have in there. Might be quicker than sorting through my entire video. A neat thing is, this is the 2024 Core Edition, or 2024 set. So it'd be kind of interesting if they might make like a 2024, or if they have like planned for like maybe next year, or however they want to plan for their years. Maybe they have like an expansion roster, like, hey, maybe here's a small booster pack that adds, instead of 190 cards, maybe it adds another like smaller packs that, you know, 50 extra guys, or who knows. They could also be very interesting, I think, as, you know, someone that doesn't know a lot about football, but I think it'd be really cool to have a, like, legacy pack, right? So you're picking this up, and you're getting, instead of getting all these current players, you're getting some older players who might not be on the, who aren't players anymore. And it might not even be necessarily just the really, really older, ancient players, but I mean, you could get like just players from the last couple of years, but you get like, so I'm assuming players I haven't seen, you know, that are famous ones, like, you haven't seen Brett Favre, Drew Brees, either of the Mannings, I haven't seen either of them, Peyton or Eli, But you can go way back to doing stuff like William the Perry Fridge, or and my brain just blanking on any famous football players at this point. But yeah, it'd be interesting to be like, hey, you're gonna go back and get all these legacy players too. It'd be kind of a neat way to like integrate that into the game. Because I might get other people like, hey, I have some new players. It'd be kind of cool to add some of the old school players in here. Which is why I'm almost surprised those weren't like the foils. That would have been fun, but really mean. Alright, our last pack is Terrell Bernard, Keelik Mack, Aziz Aguilar. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing all of these names. Colton Miller. I've never heard most of them, so I can't say. Miles Sanders, Bradley Chubb, Jonathan Bullard, Julian Love, Carl Lawson, Jason Keelk, Jalen Waddle, James Conner, TJ Watt, Joey Bassa, JC Horn, Travis Etienne Jr., Cameron Jordan, Daron Payne, Jalen Reagor, a Geno Smith, so I'm starting to recognize a lot of these, George Pickens, Kyle Gordon, Minkah Fitzpatrick, so I think I have him in 3 colors, Kyler Murray, again I have him a lot, Mike Evans, Patrick Surtain 2, Chris Lindstrom, Logan Wilson, Amari Cooper, Kenneth Walker III, Williams Levis, Young Ho Ko, Laramie Tussle, Jordan Addison, Jason Sanders, Robert Spillane, Adam Thielen, Anthony Richardson, Alex Singleton, David Montgomery, there you go, Aliziel Shar, David Njoku, CJ Stroud. Look at that. Target 3 players could each have to draw a card. Trey Longsburg, David Andrews, Kyren Williams, Darius Slayton, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, it's like Aaron Rodgers was in here. I didn't know if he would be, but you have him for the Jets. Otherwise, more people know. I say more people. He was commonly more known for being with the Packers. Yeah, so I got all to the last 10 cards. I got one person I know I haven't seen before. Jeremy Reeves, Tommy DeVito, Justin Herbert, Garrett Wilson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't think I've seen him either. Luke Musgraves, Tua. I'm just gonna keep going. And Deebo Samuel. All right, so that is our packs. As being also just someone that's like a cardboard game like Magic Gathering and stuff like that. I sit there. There like other packs I could do other than legacy characters. Was like having an expansion pack of coaches. That you could add in there and be kind of interesting. Be like, hey, you have your player cards, and each person gets to pick one coach, which has maybe a even if it was just a static effect, right? Just something that came out and it'd be lets you you can play it you're just always out where your players, you get to rotate, you have to draw, and you have a coach that starts the game out, but you get to use them once per game. So it might be hey, this coach forces someone else to skip a turn, and this doesn't, you can play it, it's kind of an interrupting type ability. That'd be kind of neat. Or a cheerleader card, lets you double up effects. Just something every team has one cheerleader cards. That'd be kind of interesting as well. Alright, so let's look at our last bunch of foil cards. So we have, the first pack we have in just a regular foil. We have Jarrett Stidham. We have a Justin Herbert. And a Jalen Hurts. So it's we're going to get 3 regular foils in every pack. And the 4th one will be one of the other types. We have a Bradley Chubb in that pack. So far, if I'm playing with my cards, I'm going to probably be leaning towards blue and greens with my 2 foils. Foil pack number 2, or number 3, Jamie Harris, Jaron Hall, Jared Goff, and oh, we got one of the cool, awesome, we got one of the wild ones. I was hoping we'd get one, so we look at that. It just has red, blue, green, and yellow on all sides of the corners of the symbols. This is Billy Zape. I don't even actually think we had one of him yet. No, my last card in the 1 is a 0, so I don't even know if I have him. So that's kind of cool, but then yeah, now he has any color you can play and you get activated. So collecting these guys will be very powerful. Now, if you can somehow get one of every single one of these and make a full deck of them, that would make the game just crazy, right? Because anytime you play an Elite, you always get to activate abilities versus having limited number. Now, did they have... But that is one thing they had, so if you are playing, just want to mention, if you're playing the Dynasty mode where you construct your deck ahead of time, it says you must have at least one card of each color, and you cannot have more than 2 wilds or 2 dual colored cards. Plus you can't have more than 4 instances of any single card, any action. So yeah, like I said, if you could collect, so going out and collecting all the foils, rare foils are all, it's not good, you can't put more than 2 in your deck. But now if you're just playing the random draft version, you can do it. But again, if you're going to have it, you're going to essentially say, I'm going to have all foils. Cool. But if you did that, what's the point? Neat thing about these are these foils are all helmetless. So that's kind of neat. Our last one is Joe Burrow, Najee Harris, Jaron Hall, and Chris Goodwin. Is this last pack the exact same? Jaron Hall, Najee Harris, and Joe Burrow. We got another Jaron Hall and a Najee Harris. So that's kind of funny. Now I have these 2 guys in 2 different colors. So I have them in the foil for this one, and I have them in the foil for that one. Now, are the artwork? The artwork shouldn't be different, but those are clearly a zoomed in. Is that just me, or does that look like that picture zoomed in a little bit more on the red one? It does look like it, or it's like a slightly different shot. Are these ones? They look the same. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Alright, so that's what we have for Uno Elite. So the last thing I'm going to do before I end the video is I'm going to do a quick, just go through all of them, see if we have the full set or how many cards we're missing per each player, not per each different color, because obviously I don't have 4 of every color. And then we'll see how they all fit in the box. So we'll be right back. Alright, for Uno Elite, the NFL 2024 Core Edition, our final total. So I did 1 booster or 1 starter set, which had 56 cards, and then 3 boosters, which also have 56 cards. Not including the 4 foils that we're showing off here, which is a whole total of 224 of the 191 cards in the set. So it should have given me a pretty close thing. I am missing 39 different player cards. Now again, we didn't realize at the beginning is that each player card was going to have 4 different colors. So there's absolutely no way I was going to ever have enough to do all of them. But what is nice is I only have 15 actual duplicates of the same player of the same color. So that's not even terrible. I'm only missing 39 different players. And of those, 4 of them I even got in the foils, which I didn't have before. Actually, 5 if I 5, 6, 7 if I include some of the other ones. I was just looking at the regular foils. Like I didn't have him in there at all either. So yeah, I actually have even a couple less if I include the foil ones, but I wasn't including those. Interestingly enough, though, out of all of them cards, I got a bunch of sets of 3s. So I have like, a red, a blue, and a green, but I'm missing yellow or, some combination of like that. But I did not get a full set of all 4 colors for any single player. So very interesting. Yeah, so very, very neat. So I bought 4 packs. I didn't quite get a full set, but I can't guarantee that if I buy I could buy 4 more packs and still be missing 2 or 3 cards because I could end up just with all of the other different colors in there. But who knows how many it would actually take. I mean, basically 191. That's almost a little shy of 200 for every one. So again, every 4 packs would be almost a full set. So I'd have to, basically, to get every single one with almost no duplicates, I'd have to almost buy another 3 sets of 4, so another 12 packs. Which is only like $60, which isn't terrible to get that, but it's a lot to hope to collect all of them. So that's just what we had there. So then the last thing I did want to show off is I grabbed the box. So we did have the things you can take out, that little inserts. So here we have kind of like the slightly different colored card edges, the darker ones. This is your full Uno set. Over here, that I put like my foil, or I put my duplicates right in this little there, combined with that. And then in each one of these, I dropped some. So there's a little bit of extra leeway room. You could take out the divider in the bottom and just shove them all in here. And you might be able to fit maybe another pack. But that's just to show off. So a starter set with 3 boosters is going to fit in here. You might be able to just cram in 1 more booster if you're really lucky. Especially if you take out duplicates. But you're never going to fit the entire thing in one box. But that does make this nice and easy. I can just, I bought that. It's enough to play the entire game very easily. You have lots of different combinations. You have the different colors. So even if you end up getting the same player multiple times, if you're just playing the straight quick draft rule, or even the draft rule, yeah, you're going to get the different things. If the same player can get the same one, so you come up with the fun guys that have multiple draws or targeting or skips, and someone's like, oh, you got him, I really want him. You might be able to find him in a separate color. Just kind of fun, or the same color if you get them. So that's the NFL's Uno Elite. Now, it is just called Uno Elite, so it doesn't mean that they might not eventually transition this into other editions as well. Kind of like the Ultimate Uno started as Marvel, then did some DC stuff. You can easily see this transitioning over to maybe basketball as well. Although, I feel like at that point, you're going to start getting just so many duplicates to the same thing. But then again, there's some people that like football, some that like NBA or basketball, so you could have 2 different player bases there. Alright, that's what we have for this set. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, hit me up in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Any other games that are kind of different or interesting you'd like to see me open, again, hit me up. I would like to, hear what you guys have to think. I don't mind doing oddball games like this. See you guys later. Bye.